us on today is that sometimes you must accept what God allows. Come on, tell your neighbor, sometimes you gotta accept what God allows. The Bible didn't say that somebody else had closed Hannah's womb. The Bible said that God had closed Hannah's womb. So when God does a thing for us, even though we want it to be a certain way, even though we want it to go a certain way, we got to learn how to stand still and accept what God allows. Because when God allows it, He knows exactly what He's doing. When God allows it, we know He's in control. When God allows it, ain't no need for us to work against the prick. When God allows it, ain't no need for us to try to turn it around. When God allows it, the best thing we can do is stand still and just accept what God has allowed. We thought we was going through a door, but it's shut in our face. Somebody need to tell God thank you for closing those doors. We thought we were going to get married, but somehow it didn't work out. We need to thank God for not allowing it to happen. We thought we were going on this job, but God didn't let it take place. Thank God, because He knew what was around the corner. We got to learn how to accept what God allowed. Sometimes we think we know what's best for ourselves, and we can want it with all of our heart, mind, and soul. But we serve a God who sits high and He looks low, and He can see further down the road than we can. And we may be disappointed, but we got to learn how to accept it. We might not want it to be that way, but we got to learn how to let God have His way. But not only do we learn from Hannah that you got to accept what God allows, but when you read the first chapter, it says Hannah never stopped making her request unto the Lord. So not only she accepted what God allows, but watch this, she teaches us that you must continue to be aggressive in your approach. Because see, a lot of times when the thing don't go down the way we think it ought to go down, the first thing we do is back off of it. When God don't answer our prayer the way we want Him to answer it, the first thing we do is start praying a different way. But somebody needs to hear the word of the Lord on today. Just because it didn't go down the way you wanted it to go down, you still be aggressive in your approach. You still keep talking to the Lord about it. You still keep making your request known unto Him. We can learn from Hannah. She was getting picked at her, but it didn't stop her from praying. God didn't open her womb, but it didn't stop her from talking to the Lord. Is anybody get what I'm saying? She did not cease from being aggressive in her approach. She didn't get bitter. She didn't get mad. She didn't get depressed. She didn't start talking about, I ain't gonna be believing in God if He didn't do what I wanted Him to do. But she said, if He doesn't do exactly what I wanted Him to do, I still know He's able. I may not see the manifestation, but I know He can do anything but fail. So she accepted what God allowed. She continued to be aggressive in her approach. And look at what it got her. It caused her to acquire something amazing.
Tell us, Pastor. Tell us.
What she didn't have, what was not open, now is open. What was closed is now wide open. And Hannah was amazed at what God had done in her life. And when you don't give up, and when you don't give in, God will come through and show himself mighty. And you'll get what you think you weren't going to get. And you'll acquire what you didn't think was in your reach. Has God ever done that for anybody in here on today? Have I got a witness in here on today? Has there ever been something that the devil told you you couldn't have? But you stayed fast, unmovable, and you said, I don't care what it looks like, but I believe the God that I serve. And isn't he amazing? Didn't he blow your mind? Didn't he blow your mind? Did he blow your mind? She accepted what God allowed. She continued to be aggressive in her approach. And she acquired what was amazing. And she got what she had been asking for finally appeared. And here we are in our text. What she had been asking for
Walking heavy this morning.
now finally appears. Here we have Hannah Samuel.
Good.
Hannah, the name means God has created favor and grace. Samuel, the name means God has heard. So when you follow the teachings of Hannah, God will give you what you were asking for and let you know, even though you thought I couldn't hear you, I was listening the entire time, and I've heard your prayer, I heard your supplication, and I'm going to answer, and I'm going to cause that thing to appear. So here we are. Hannah makes a vow to the Lord that when God causes Samuel to appear, that she would rededicate him back to the Lord. And so one year when it was time to go and offer sacrifices to the house of the Lord, she told Elkanah, I'm going to stay back. And I'm going to take this child to the priest myself once he's weaned. Now we can estimate that at the time that she took young Samuel to the temple, that maybe he was around 2 or 3 years old. Because it said after she weaned him. And so she gets there. And she tells that same priest that thought she was drunk, that same priest that thought she was full of wine, that I'm the same woman that was here a few years ago, that was praying earnestly to the Lord. And now I'm standing with my miracle. And now I'm standing with my answer. And now I'm going to keep my vow to the Lord. I'm not going to get what I want from the Lord and then forget about what I said I would do. That's what a lot of us do. We go to praying and we go to fasting. And then when God do what he said he's going to do, we renege on our part. God, if you get me out of this, Lord, I promise I ain't never going to be here no more. God, if you take this away from me, I promise I won't never pick it up no more. And as soon as God does it for you, everything is going good, here comes the devil whispering in your ear, go and pick it up again, go and meet them again, go and smoke again, go and start drinking again, go and start running around again. God ain't gonna do it for you again, but we gotta keep our part of the deal. She didn't get his blessings and then got missing, but she kept her vow to the Lord.
That's good.
So it says here in the text, I read it, it. I had to read it several times because I was confused.
My Lord.
It said, the child, Samuel, the boy, he was ministering in the house of God.
Uh-huh.
And where he slept at,
Lord have mercy.
was right there where the ark of the covenant was.
Right.
He right there in the house of God. He in the presence of God.
Lord have mercy.
He in church. And then it said in verse 7, now Samuel didn't know the Lord.
My Lord. Wow.
That the word of the Lord hadn't yet been revealed to him. I have to go back and read that again because I'm confused. I ain't all that right. God, you got to break this down. And now I'm going to go over it again.
Yeah.
And then he said, this is your point right here, baby. Here it is. I'm getting ready to drop it on you.
Drop it.
He said, you can be at the house of God, but God be absent from you. I'm going to say it again. He said, you can be at the house of God, but God be absent from you. I said, what you trying to say? He said, what you be seeing every Sunday, daughter. Folk be coming to church. Folk be, like the Mario said, singing in the choir. Folk be giving God a praise. Folk be faithful, but they'll be in the house of God, but still don't know God for themselves. How you gonna work in the church?
Lord have mercy.
Sleep where the ark of the covenant is.
Wow.
And be the right hand man of the priest. And still don't know the Lord.
Wow. Great.
How you gonna come to church Sunday after Sunday, week after week, year after year, Bible study after Bible study, and still don't walk with a personal, shutting up, I know the Lord for myself relationship with God?
That's good. Wow.
I said, I'm confused. It said he ministered unto the Lord.
Wow.
How you gonna minister unto the Lord and don't even know him?
Wow.
Said he was the priest's right hand man. This the fellow that kept the lamps going.
Talk about it. Come on.
He slept where the ark of the covenant was. When he heard the Lord's voice, he had to get up and go to a separate place where Eli was sleeping at. Said you can be at God's house, but still be absent from knowing him for yourself.
Yeah. Wow.
So then the text goes on to say that God stood where he had stood the other 2 times that he called Samuel. And then he began to speak. So he stood before he began to speak. He said, here's your other point. He said, you can be in his presence, but never know that he's present. How God gonna stand in the same room with you?
Wow.
Call you by name, and you run past him over to another man. My God. I'm going to say that again. How is God going to be standing right there with you? And you work in the church. You call yourself ministering unto the Lord. And he's standing right in front of you. And you can't recognize that he's there. And while you on your way to ask what's going